This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Everybody's talking about Trump tails. Ooh, Trump tails. Ooh. What's up, boys and girls, scholars and laymen? Welcome to another wonderful edutainment, infotainment edition of The Art of It Stinks. I'm your host for the empowerment segment, Brother Ron. I said brethren, or Brother Ron, or Reverend Ron. And it don't stop to the hip, the hop, the hip, the hip hop. It's Brother Ron, also known as R2C2H2, the Artivist. And this is the We All Be Info Movement. Because we all be in it to win it. And I'm talking today, ladies and gentlemen, scholars and laymen. I'm talking about the Trump tails. Woo! Talking about Trump tails. And I'm talking about his historic visit, the summit in Singapore. Don't you know? Don't you want to hear more? I'm talking about the Singapore summit with Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. Because, ooh, baby, we like it raw. And it all goes down because Dennis Rodman made it so. Dennis Rodman, who should be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Dennis Rodman is the world's foremost authority on Kim Jong-un. You know, both of these guys are basketball fanatics. Dennis Rodman, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. That's right. He was a defensive genius. Well, he had a high basketball IQ. Because people forget that Dennis Rodman, not only was he a rebounding machine, but in college, he was a scoring machine. He chose to focus on the art of the rebound. And he was a defensive mastermind. He's the only player that I saw who could effectively guard Shaq in his prime. Not because he was bigger or stronger, but Dennis was very strong. But because he got into Shaq's mind, in his mental space. He rented out space. Oh, baby, he was living there for free in Shaq's mind, playing against him. When Shaq was in his prime, the only person that slowed him down, in my mind, was Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman is also, dare I say, a geopolitical genius. Yes, people laughed at Dennis Rodman crying. I think they did have a Dennis Rodman crying meme, like they got that Michael Jordan crying meme. They need somebody to make one of Dennis Rodman crying, but Cry Me a River or Cry Me a Nobel Peace Prize, Dennis Rodman got the job done. According to intelligence aficionado and superstar, Mr. Intelligence, U.S. Intelligence himself, James Clapper, said that Dennis Rodman, to paraphrase him, was one of the world's foremost authorities on Kim Jong-un. And that they were just rookies. That they were just amateurs when it came to the subject matter of Kim Jong-un. So, you know, Dennis Rodman had a couple of basketball exhibition games over in North Korea under the Obama administration. And he tried to, like he said, connect with Obama. Donald Trump is making Obama look foolish. I'm sorry, y'all can say what y'all want. A lot of y'all don't want to hear that about President Cheeto, Agent Orange, but he's making him look like a fool. Cause a lot of us, now don't tell me, well, you hate, I spend money, gas, time. I went to both of Obama's inaugurations. I stood out in that bitter ass cold the first time around. I spent my gas money, my hotel money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a $300 speeding ticket in Virginia. Virginia is not for lovers, it's for speed traps. The whole state is a goddamn speed trap. I got a $300 ticket trying to get home to vote for Obama in a state that he could never win, Tennessee. Did I say Hennessy? I mean Tennessee. So don't tell me about, well, you know, y'all bash Obama. Give a damn. Look, Donald Trump, not only did he, all in one calendar year, this guy exonerated or pardoned one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, who's been dead since 1946. Matter of fact, the recent anniversary of his death, he died in a car accident in North Carolina back in 46, just came to pass. And Donald Trump pardoned him. That's Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, one of the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Greatest of all times. Then he pardoned a living black woman, grandmother who'd been in jail for 21 years, who tried 3 times to the Obama's Justice Department to get pardoned. Persons from Tennessee. It took Kim Kardashian, Kanye West's wife, to talk to Donald Trump in the Oval Office, whisper in his ear to get this sister out of jail so she can enjoy her golden years as a free woman with her family and friends. But she tried 3 times to Obama to get it done. She couldn't get it done. And yet you Negroes still stuck on a Democratic plantation. It's a plantation, man. Yes, Donald Trump's father may have been a Klansman, but the Democrats invented the Ku Klux Klan, man. The first Grand Wizard, Nathan Bedford Forrest, a Memphian, was a Democrat, a Democrat. Albert Pike, the founder of the Klan, lived in Memphis from Boston, was a Democrat, a Democrat. I don't care about all that politics, man, whatever. But let's get to my point. Let's get back to Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman did a phenomenal job. He was the most useful tool. He's one of the most useful tools of all times. Not only is he a great basketball mind, but a great geopolitical mind. He played his position on the chessboard. And this is really reminiscent of what he did for Trump. Is almost kind of like what Robert F. Williams did for Richard Nixon. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of history lesson, because a lot of y'all don't know. Y'all listen to CNN as a gospel. Y'all listen, well, my name is so-and-so. I'm a professional journalist, and I talk like this, and I'll make you suck my cock as I tell you some fake news. And you're going to believe the fake news because I talk like this. I talk like this. Instead of Brother Ron talk like this, you better believe me because I talk like this. And I am a authority on the news of today. I know what's important and what you should be listening to. No, you fucking do not. This is News Free Dixie, biatch! Yeah, so it's Brother Ron, okay? Dennis Rodman did for Donald Trump what Robert F. Williams did for Richard Nixon. Now, let me give y'all a quick history lesson, or our story lesson. Let me give you a quick our story lesson. My people, your people. Robert F. Williams was the president of the NAACP chapter in Monroe, Louisiana back in the 50s and early 60s. This is a guy who wrote the book Negroes with Guns that inspired none other than Huey P. Newton to form his version of the Black Panther Party. Because we all know, right, boys and girls, scholars and laymen, that there was a Black Panther Party in Lowndes County, Alabama, led by the likes of people like Stokely Carmichael, a.k.a. Kwame Ture. We do know that, right? There was a Black Panther Party down in Alabama before there was a Black Panther Party in Oakland. We do know that, right? You know it now. So anyway, getting back, Robert F. Williams believed in black arming themselves. He believed in self-defense. He also believed in liberation. So Robert F. Williams was a cat that organized a gun club in Monroe, North Carolina. He wasn't afraid to be an advocate for black folks' freedom and liberation. He was a former Marine, World War II veteran who knew his way around a gun, was a master in martial arts. It was a martial arts master. So this is not no T'Challa, Black Panther, Wakanda shit. This is real life. Cause like I told y'all before, black history is stranger than science fiction and better than a Hollywood movie. If you learn the truth about who black people are and where and are going to be, then we'll be in a better position as a people. But Robert F. Williams, one of them cats y'all don't even talk about during Black History Month, let alone any day of the year. And he outlived Malcolm, Martin, and Medgar. Them cats all got killed in their 30s. This brother lived to be 71 years old. Died in 1996. Rosa Parks, yes, that Rosa Parks did his eulogy at his funeral. And like to paraphrase what I believe what he said, the reason why you won't hear about me a lot of times is because I live to be an old man. And so America don't like when folks get away with it, supposedly. But anyway, Robert F. Williams was the leader of the Monroe, North Carolina chapter of the NAACP. He was also a pivotal figure. This is before social media and Black Lives Matter, all that stuff y'all talking about. He was a leader in the kissing case where the 2 black boys were sent to prison for kissing a white girl. They didn't rape the white girl. They didn't touch her without her permission or consent. She loved chocolate. Like a box of chocolates, chocolate kisses. She liked the fact them black boys kissed her. As far as I know, it was the white people, the white adults that got mad. And they threw the books at these boys. All they did was kiss the white girl. Kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. You got to kiss the girl. That's all they did. And they were treated like adults, like they raped somebody. So Robert F. Williams led a letter writing campaign, which got not only national media attention, but also international media attention. There was an outcry. It embarrassed the state of North Carolina. They had to let the boys out of prison. That was the kissing case. He was like little kids. I don't think they was 10 years old. These black boys, they were accused of violating the civil rights of this white girl. Take a lesson, Me Too. Don't overreach. Don't overreach. You about to blow a gasket. Now blow the fuck up. Arrgh. So y'all know y'all like that shit. So anyway, Robert F. Williams, when the Freedom Riders, y'all know about the Freedom Riders, right? Them black and white activists who braved those buses to travel the southern states to make sure that the southern states respect the rights that buses need to be integrated. The interstate travel needed to be integrated. There was law. So you had the Freedom Riders who got their asses handed to them in Anniston, Alabama, and places like Birmingham. You had white mobs nearly beating these people to death, lynching these black and white activists on these buses. But Robert F. Williams made sure when they came into Monroe that they would be protected, because he had the gun club. You had black men that believe in self-defense and protection and protecting the community, especially folks working on the front lines of black liberation. So even before that, you had Robert F. Williams. He got into gunfights with the local Klan, because the Klan not only were Peckerwoods or backwoods or rednecks or what y'all don't call man of the woods. You had the Klan was in the police department. You had the Klan that was in all levels of law enforcement and government. You had, when Robert F. Williams was a little boy, he saw this police officer named Jesse Helms Sr. beat the shit out this black woman and drag her down the street. Now, Jesse Helms Sr. is the father of the late U.S. Senator Jesse Helms Jr., the same Jesse Helms Jr. who ran against Harvey Gantt for the U.S. Senate, that Michael Jordan was afraid to endorse the challenger, Harvey Gantt, the black man, against the white man who was a white terrorist with a lot of political clout and power, because he said Republicans buy shoes too. That's what you're dealing with. Because Michael Jordan's from Wilmington, North Carolina. That's the same place where David Walker, who wrote the Appeal, is from. And you got a place called Cape Fear down there, Little Harbor. When back in the slavery days, they'll take the most rebellious and most uppity black slave, decapitate him, and impale his head on a stick. So when you coming through the harbor, you see all these impaled black man heads. This is true shit. So this is what Michael Jordan grew up in. This is why you got to understand who Michael Jordan is. Wilmington Race Riots of 1898. Look that up. Take a look. It's all online. Look all that shit up. I'm just opening up all these can of worms. But Robert F. Williams come out of that environment. So he got in the shootouts with the Klan. So when the Freedom Riders came to town, he protected the activists. There was a lot of, racial crap. Then what happened was, what got him in trouble with the United States was the fact he had this white couple coming through the black part of town. Robert F. Williams and his people called themselves protecting the white couple from mob violence. He had a lot of black folks angry about the race situation. So they held the white couple, I guess, against their will, but they held them for their protection. Although the media and the law would say they were held against their will, that they were kidnapped. He was trying to save their lives. So he allowed them to leave eventually once everything kind of died down. But that's when he got in trouble with Johnny Law. So Robert F. Williams said, I'm not going to get railroaded about this racist ass system. He left the country. He went through Canada, went through Mexico, and then landed in Cuba. Cuba, where he became a friend of Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. Cuba, where they just recently had the 1959 revolution that overthrew the mafia U.S. multinational backed regime of Batista. So Robert F. Williams found himself in Cuba in the early 60s. He started a newspaper, I think, called The Crusader down there. And also he started a radio program with his beautiful wife, Mabel Williams, called Radio Free Dixie. And he used to broadcast from Cuba. He tried to encourage black folks to lead an armed resistance in the United States and overthrow the government. That was his job. Even with the Bay of Pigs and all this other stuff happened with the Cuban Missile Crisis, he was trying to encourage and enlist black men to turn against their white commanders and not only A.W.L, but mutiny. He was, encouraging that while he was in Cuba. And eventually the United States government blocked his radio frequency power, his radio waves power. But he ended up moving on from Cuba to China, where he was a guest of honor. Him and his wife were Chairman Mao, the leader of communist China. So he was over there for several years, but he was wanted to go back to the United States of America. Now, he was friends with Dr. King and Malcolm X. Dr. King did not agree with his philosophy about, armed violence and, self-defense, but Malcolm was an advocate for that. He admired Robert F. Williams. But, by the time Robert F. Williams came back to America, both of these black men were dead. They didn't make it to 40. And everybody was looking to Robert F. Williams for leadership. But one of the ways that Robert F. Williams was able to come back over here because he was an inside man on China. Richard Nixon became the first United States president to ever visit China, in large part based on the intelligence information that Robert F. Williams was able to provide to the State Department, to the government about China. Because he was a guest of honor, he was close with Mao, Chairman Mao. And so he was able to leverage that to be able to come back to the United States. And eventually he won the kidnapping case in court. I think that he won in 1975, lived out his days in Michigan, was considered an expert on Cuba and China, and died at the old age of 71. So this is Robert F. Williams. If it was for Robert F. Williams, being in China at the time, even meeting with Ho Chi Minh, he visited Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh, the leader of the Northern Vietnamese resistance during the Vietnam War. A lot of people don't know that Ho Chi Minh was in America when Marcus Garvey was here. He was a big fan and admirer of Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey inspired Ho Chi Minh, the leader of the Northern Vietnamese resistance, to believe in his people and to do right by his people. He believed, he was inspired by Marcus Garvey to continue on a path of self-determination for his people. So a lot of people don't know there was a black man that inspired Ho Chi Minh to do what he did in Vietnam. That's why the Vietnamese was able to win. So take it back, you fans. I told you enough about Robert F. Williams. Yeah. What? What time for what? I ain't called. No, I ain't called. Wait a minute. So you fast forward Dennis Rodman. You fast forward Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a court jester, but court jester don't mean you a fool. You just playing a part of a fool. Dennis Rodman is as crazy as a fucking fox. So y'all sleeping on Dennis Rodman. But let it be known that history was made because of this black basketball player named Dennis Rodman utilizing his gifts and talents and his charm, his charisma. And he was able to get it in for America. So this was a victory, ladies and gentlemen, scholars and laymen. This was a victory. And we got to give Dennis Rodman his due. So y'all can laugh at Dennis Rodman all you want to, but Dennis Rodman has led an extraordinary life, has reinvented himself many times. And I truly believe with Dennis Rodman, the best is yet to come. So don't sleep on Dennis Rodman. But I think a lot of people should look at this as a time of magic. Anything can happen if you believe in magic. Anything can happen. So don't count yourself out. Tap into that power of reinvention, that magic. Put on those magic glasses if you can. If you can't, just do what you can with what you got. But like I said, kudos to Dennis Rodman. Well played, sir. Well played, sir. You are a Hall of Famer in the game of life. So with that said, this is Brother Ron signing off. If you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. Please feel free to subscribe to We All Be TV. YouTube.com/WeAllBTV. If you want to support and sustain the movement, give what you can. You make a one-time donation at our PayPal. Our email address is r2c2h2@gmail.com. All the stuff you need to do there is available in the subscription box below, but you could make a one-time donation, a recurring donation, and also you could join the patreon.com/WeAllBeMovement. So you can make a donation, a recurring donation there, and you get prizes. I know I'm due to give out some prizes. I'm sorry for being so far behind y'all, but I'm going to do an update on why I'm kind of far behind on some things, but I'm almost there. So you also going to buy, wear, or hang out of his art. We got a couple of teespring.com websites with amazing original R2C2H2 art that you can wear. And also you can go to our official website for R2C2H2, which is www.r2c2h2.com. Once again, that's r2c2h2.com. And thank you once again for tuning in, for supporting this movement, for Amplify. Like my mentor or my Jegna, Judge the Army Bailey would tell me, Ron, you must amplify, amplify, amplify. So thank you so much for amplifying the word that you heard from Mr. Hurd. In the words of the great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing.